And just to let you know, today's session will be recorded. So we will be posting this on our Cougs Career channel for future reference in case you miss parts of the presentation. And we have a ton of resources on our Cougs Career channel too for you guys to use. So we'll get started just a few minutes after noon today. Thanks for joining. Hello, everyone. You are here for the salary negotiation workshop. Please scan the QR code and follow the directions that are there. If you wanted to, another option is to go to the chat box to click on the link that's there and then enter in COOG, C-O-O-G, followed by your PeopleSoft number to register for today's session. All right, we're going to get started. You guys are here today for reviewing job offers and salary negotiation presented by University Career Services. My name is Bina Benavides. I am here to give you guys some really great information to add to your playbook of having successful career. I am also joined by Dr. Olivia Hayes and Ms. Cynthia Olmedo, who are also career coaches with us here in University Career Services. We're so happy to have you here. Give me a thumbs up that you can hear me and see me, as well as see the PowerPoint presentation on the screen. Great. So I see Theodore, hello, Casey. I see Carla Franklin. I see Sakha Wyatt and Dusan and Naresh. So I recognize some of your names. I think some of you guys have been to my session. So I'm really happy to have you here. If you guys know of anybody else who wants to join, let them know that we have this session happening. I also want to let you guys know this session will be recorded. We have other virtual sessions recorded, and we post these on our Cougs career website through our YouTube channel. So there's so much great information there. So I'm really excited that you're here. We're going to get started. I do want to go over an overview of our services so that we can stay connected. We do offer career counseling in person, virtual, and drop-ins. Give me a thumbs up if you have joined us with career counseling. We also offer career and networking events, workshops, info sessions, and career fairs. I do see Naresh, I think Franklin, and somebody else, Theodore, has been with us, connecting with us with our career counselor. So that's really great. So glad to have that and have you guys come to those. And then also we do offer Smart Resume, to help you with your resume through VMOC. It's a free service. We do vocational assessments. We have a career closet, and of course, connect with us. Look for on and off campus jobs through Cougar Pathway. That's how you guys signed up for today's workshop as well. So just want to let you guys know that. And then Cougar Pathway, of course, it's an awesome thing. It's an online database for you as currently enrolled students and alumni subscribers to help search for on-campus jobs, internships, full-time jobs, help you with your resume, uploading it, and cover letters, as well as come to more of our events. You can also schedule a one-on-one counseling appointment with one of us, and of course, conduct a virtual mock interview. So I just want to put that out there for you. So, and also just an FYI, for tomorrow, we do have the government and nonprofit career mixer that's happening in the Student Center. How many of you guys are going? Give me a thumbs up if you're going. I love to hear it, and hopefully we can meet tomorrow. So for today's agenda, knowing your worth, reviewing job offers and salary negotiation. This is our outline for today's session. Oh yes, so Cynthia did say in the chat, feel free to post any questions in the chat box too. Cynthia is going to be helping us with some of those questions. So I'd love to hear from you. We're going to keep this session very engaging too, okay? So we're going to go over job offer review tips, know your value, your target salary and benefits, your strategy, and then writing it out and practicing it. That's what we want you guys to do. Practice makes perfect. So when reviewing job offers, these are the things to consider. Position, the type of position, location, whether it is far away, maybe it is virtual, maybe it's a hybrid type of position or out of state. You want to look at your benefits package, salary and bonus, and then of course, what kind of organization you are going to be looking for. And I did pull this from a really great resource that is cited there if you wanted to look deeper into that. So reviewing job offers, things to consider. What in the chat box, type out what would you consider while I go through this slide as important for you to consider. Now, with the organization, you want to look at history, reputation, their mission and values, financial standing, what kind of work schedule options you have, and of course, professional development. So how many of you guys would like to have a hybrid schedule? Raise your hand. Anybody? Nobody? Carla, Dusan, and Narish, yes, and Theodore. These days, that's quite common. Even here in our department, we have 1 day a week that between 1 and 2 days that we're doing hybrid. Now more than ever, people are able to work from home and be super productive, especially with things like Teams. How we're connected today really helps out with that. So that's definitely something to consider and something to look at when you're looking at your job offer. So thanks for responding, guys. So the position, we want to look at, I guess, the type of position that you're going to have, mainly with your work schedule and with professional development. Then with location, we want to look at the cost of living. So like, for example, living here in Houston is probably a lot cheaper than living up in New York City. We know that. Or maybe, you know, a lot of people live in Texas, which is a great state. A lot of people are moving from California here because it's actually way cheaper. You want to look at what kind of entertainment you have in the area, transportation options, commuting time and cost, safety, and what kind of relocation package they're going to offer you. With benefits, we want to consider medical, dental, vision, retirement plans, vacation and sick time as important, as well as salary and bonus. We want to research the going rate, and then I've cited salary.com, CareerStop, PayScale, and Glassdoor for you. So you could definitely look at that to see the type of position that you have. We'll get more into that later, and then how much they pay. It's really great these days. You can also look up different regions and see how much money you would make in California versus in Texas. And a contributing factor to that would be cost of living too. So negotiating salary is part of the process. Good pay attracts and keeps good employees. So we want to remember that too. With salary negotiation, now this is when I want you guys to chime in. Have you ever asked for a raise or negotiated your salary? Go ahead and raise your hand if you've done that. And then I guess ask yourself, why have you not asked for a raise or negotiate your salary? Maybe you're really early in your career. Maybe you didn't feel comfortable. I did see a raised hand. Let's see. I think I missed it. Anyway. A survey by salary.com revealed that only 37% of people always negotiate their salaries, while an astonishing 18% never do. Even worse, 44% of respondents claim to have never brought up the subject of a raise during their performance review. So I want you guys to keep that in your toolbox and get it out later once you've gotten that awesome job and you're up for review, is to revisit the idea of asking for a raise, okay? And we'll get into more detail about that later. I also want to share with you guys, women earn 16% less than men. 70% of people who ask for a raise receive one. So when I present this information, I always say, ask and ye shall receive. So if you don't ever ask, you will never know, right? So does that resonate with any of you guys? Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if it does. All right, so 4 steps to negotiating your salary. Thanks, Sarah. It resonates with Sarah, I see. 4 steps to negotiating your salary. We want you guys to know your value, know your target salary and benefits, know your strategy, and then of course, practice, practice, practice. Practice does make perfect. It will make you feel confident. It will make you feel good. You practice out loud, you practice in the mirror, whatever you can to get to feeling good about doing that type of ask for a raise and or negotiating your salary. So I want you guys, tip 1, prepare to talk about your value. When you guys are going for a job and you're interviewing and even in your resume, you will want to shine and ask yourself and say it on paper, say it on your resume, say it on your cover letter, how you're going to add value to the position. And this is a really good way too for you guys to get to know your value, and then you can really articulate it once it comes to the time to start the salary negotiation process, once you get that job offer, that awesome job offer. So you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate is a really good quote that I live by and that you should too, okay? Because you guys have a lot to offer to different companies. You guys are all U of H students. You guys have so many things in your toolbox that can add value to different companies and different jobs. So I want you guys to remember that. So preparing to talk about your value when you're entering a new job, what major accomplishments have you received in the past year that could be of direct benefit to the new position? You want to ask yourself that. You want to consider aligning what the position needs are with things you've done that could add value to the company and the job. You're going to see that word value a lot. What specific skills or certifications of use are you bringing to the team that we might be lacking or that the company might be lacking? And then when asking for a promotion, you're going to want to ask yourself, what did you accomplish this past year for our existing team? And then what quantifiable achievements did you bring since you've worked here? Now, a recommendation for that is to have a kudos folder where you sort of document things that you've accomplished throughout the year. You could even do, this is adding to your toolbox, a monthly status report on different things that you are working on that are going towards your yearly goals. So once you, by the end of the year, you're going to have a ton of stuff to share during your review. So keep those two items in your toolbox. The next tip is to know your target salary and benefits. I want you guys to do your research and have a realistic number. Use resources like salary.com and onetonline.org. Outside of salary, you want to also ask yourself, what are other benefits you could also negotiate? Now, with all my viewers out there, raise your hand if you started doing research on salary.com or other places. I want to see if anybody has done that yet or has ever done that. So I see Theodore did, Cynthia has, and other people have. So that's great. Okay, good. So hopefully it's helpful. For those who have not, I want to share with you this awesome tip for you. Okay, salary.com is your friend. Go use it. It is free. And these are the directions on how to do that. So you would go to salary.com to get a free quote unquote know your worth. And then there's the website there. And then you would type in the title of the position you want to find out the salary for, and then you'll click on that salary, on that job description for it. So let's see. I'm going to zoom up so you guys can see it. Can you guys see it? Give me a thumbs up. So first you're going to, for example, we're doing public relations specialist. We went to the website for salary.com under research and then salary. We type that in and then we click start researching, and then we get a description of that particular position. And then we can go down where it says view salary to actually view the salary. So you can see it right there in the lower left-hand corner, and try to zoom it for us just to get a sense of that. Okay, that's really great. And once we click on that part where it says view salary, we get this as an answer that it'll go to the next screen. And what's cool about this is it will show us, as you can see, the median, which is there, which is around 60K. And you can see the bottom 10% would make starting around 48. And then the top 10% could be making around 81. And maybe the top 10% is for more experienced more experienced senior level public relations specialist. So this is a really, really great for you guys to use. And again, it's free. So I definitely recommend using that to start your research. The other part, remember I said ONET Online. Who has used ONET Online? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you've used it. Maybe in the chat box, you can let me know if it's been helpful. I'd love to hear from you. The ONET Online is being shown on the screen here. And again, I'm looking at public relations specialists. And what's great is that I can see that we typed in for Texas, and then my zip code is 77003 as an example. And then it has for the Woodlands, the high point, and where most people are getting paid is around 60K. In Texas, again, it's the same. And then within the United States, it's a little bit higher, around 67. That may be because other states may be a little bit more expensive to live. That tends to definitely impact salary earnings. So in the chat box, I want you guys to tell me what you guys consider important for additional benefits that employers can offer you. On the screen, you can see things that are to consider. So like health insurance, meal breaks, different types of insurance like Social Security, disability, sick leave, and unemployment benefits, overtime, family and medical leave, hazard pay, of course, getting a paid raise, and then of course, personal days are important as well as sick days. So go ahead and put that in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself to let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I know for me, like having some vacation days is really important. Anybody else? What is important besides pay for benefits? Did I lose you guys? Don't be shy.
Hi, I think it's very important to be able to grow with the company and not be stuck.
Yeah, so like having like professional development opportunities. And are you talking, this is Dusan that just shared with us. Are you talking like being able to promote into a higher position?
Yes, and to see how you can grow with the company. Like it's some positions, especially let's say I'm teaching, and for many teachers they are very limited with their time, so they cannot like progress so much, and then we can all feel stuck.
Absolutely. Yeah, so with teaching, you know, it does take time, and then it's important to make sure that you take time to like develop yourself professionally, to keep growing the skills and the leadership and things that could add value to the next position. With teaching, it might be like being a chair, or you know, being a dean or in charge of a department, or if you're in public school, like assistant principal or principal, right? So those are some career paths to take into consideration there. So I think that's really great. Thank you, Jason, for sharing. Does anybody else want to chime in?
I'll chime in. It's Cynthia.
Hey.
I think another one that students ask for a lot is tuition reimbursement. So I'll look for companies that offer tuition reimbursement because, you know, they want to work full time with their bachelor's degrees, but they know they want to go on and get their master's. So working with a company that offers the tuition reimbursement to while they will pay for your master's is a great benefit.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I would recommend if you guys, if that is something that you find important, is to inquire about that with the employers. I know that when I was going to college up in Michigan years ago, I worked for the housing department, and I had a management position with them, and they paid for my entire master's program. and I was only working like 3/4 time. It was tough, but they gave me like housing, they gave me health insurance, they gave me a meal plan. And then I was able to go to school on campus. So finding something like that, or even if it's just a couple $1,000s, is definitely a huge benefit. So thank you for sharing, Cynthia. That's great. All right. So these are some, I got this from Harvard Business Review. I wanted to share it with you, but these are some of the most valued benefits by job seekers that I wanted to share, right? So we have, of course, health, dental, and vision insurance is pretty important. It can be quite expensive. I know like at public institutions or Texas-run government institutions, it's up more than $700 a month that those organizations pay for their employees, just for one employee to get medical benefits. So it's definitely can be costly. Another important thing is having flexible work hours, vacation time, work from home option, unlimited vacation, which I think is pretty unheard of. And then student loan assistance, just like Cynthia had shared. And there's some other really great ones there. Even like gym membership, daycare services, fitness and yoga classes, company-wide retreats. Those would be like maybe team building that helps with morale and helps really buy into the department that you're working with, to take into consideration. The next thing I want to go for with you guys is to have a realistic target number for the salary that you're going for. I want you guys to ask yourself, how much experience do you have? And of course, be honest with that. Compare responsibilities from when you started to your present responsibilities, especially if it's for like a current job that you have and you're asking for promotion or for a raise. And have you set and surpassed goals? Do you enjoy working there and see yourself enjoying the added responsibilities that you may have gotten? Because over time, more than likely, you'll master some of the tasks that you've been given, and then you'll be given more. So just ask yourself that. And then, of course, we want you to create a target, compare the salary range for someone with your experience or skill set. Go in with a dream salary and a satisfactory salary. And then when asked, what is your desired salary, which you may have been asked or will be asked, you offer the higher number with the understanding that your employer may accept or counter offer. Again, going back to what I said before. Do you guys remember what I said? If you don't ask, you won't know. I'm going to type it in the chat box. And I want that to carry, I want you guys to carry that with you, to give you guys the courage to ask, okay? So tip 3, know your strategy, how to initiate that conversation. When you are interviewing for a new position, how many of you guys are going to be interviewing or have interviewed for a position? Give me a thumbs up or raise your hand. When you're reviewing for a new position, the employer is going to ask you, what are your salary expectations? The interviewer, which is you, is going to say, hey, based on my research, a fair salary range for individuals with similar experience in this position is, and then you're going to enter in a number. And how are you guys going to get that number? Where are you guys going to research this at? From what I told you guys so far, you guys can unmute yourself or put it in the chat box. I'll wait for you guys because I know you guys are paying attention, and you guys will share with me some of those places to look to get a good salary amount.
Do you mean salary.com? Yes.
Right on, Dusan.
Thank you. I have just one question about that website. So I feel like that not for all professions we can get the precise results, and that is a little bit frustrating because I'm studying singing to be a singer, and I'm doing my doctorate, which is not bachelor, master, but the highest terminal degree. And every time when I look for salaries of singers, it ranges from $30,000 to millions of dollars, with Taylor Swift on the top. And it's very vague and frustrating because it doesn't give the clear picture what to expect. And then we see some people who don't even have degrees, they make millions. And then we have people who have degrees and they suffer.
Yeah, Olivia just gave a hand clap on that. I don't know if any of my career coaches want to chime in there. I'll start by saying that I think I don't know if you're working with like an agent, if they would be able to give you like a fair range of the amount to suggest. I think it depends on the type of commitment that you have depending on the contract. And you're right, it does totally vary. I don't even know if you could do a comparative analysis with artists that you would sort of have similar type of job with to see how much they make, and then go from there with it. Cynthia or Dr. Hayes, do you guys have anything to add?
Yeah. So I was going to recommend just kind of something similar to what you just mentioned, Bina, was maybe conducting an informational interview with someone that's in the industry, to just kind of get in, we call that kind of like getting on the inside, to just kind of see what a day in the life of would be like for that individual, because we know that from state to state, industry to industry is going to be different. But maybe you start to identify someone in that industry that you could just have an informational interview with and ask them some questions. I mean, one of those questions could be, if you don't mind sharing, what has been your salary history, with this particular profession. Would you mind maybe sharing some tools or hacks or tactics to kind of help me go for the larger scale? And things like that. Basically, you're asking them, how can I advocate for myself to be able to negotiate and get some type of salary that
Thank
I
you,
deserve?
Olivia. Yes, I already started doing that, and I'm talking in the name of all artists and musicians. And I'm also doing my arts leadership program with the dean, Floret Fernando. And what I see is that even when I went to the Rock Nation table, when they came to the University of Houston, they didn't know what to tell me. They were like, "Oh, you're overqualified with your doctoral degree, and yet all those positions you cannot apply for them. You need to know someone, and you basically need to have connections because those positions are not available."
Yeah, I think for that industry, that's going to be the same, whether it's, musicians, singers, or actresses. It's really, networking is extremely important. I did look also to research on ONET, because ONET does group musicians and singers together. So when you look on ONET, and you can look for wages in Texas, you're right. It does range from anywhere from $15 an hour up to $100 an hour. But you can look and compare across states. So it's going to be more, depending on what state you're in. But then it also depends what you're doing. Like if you're just doing gigs, or you're like a full-time musician, if you're producing, if you're writing. So there's a lot to take into account on that. But you can use ONET as well. Might be a little helpful.
And I also
Thank you so
wanted to
much.
I wanted to chime in as well, because and I heard you say you're working with Floret. So we actually work with the College of the Arts. We have a career development specialist. Her name is Mikhail Padel. And she works with the College of the Arts. But I was trying to find, they have a field guide for art students that they sent to her. And so I'm going to try to find that. And I'm going to try to send that to you, because I believe in that field guide. There's like a variety of different resources that could potentially help you, excuse me, in that sector as well. So give me just a second, but also keep it in mind, like with your process and your industry, right? Like taxes and having to pay for certain things, separately as a musician and all these things. So give me just a second. I'm going to try to find the field guide for you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Hayes. That's great. Good questions. Anybody else have any questions or comments about that? All right. So also asking for a raise in a current position as an employee, excuse me, I'd like to schedule a meeting to discuss a pay raise would be a suggestion to say to your boss or to whoever is in that type of position to make that decision. And then also consider saying, based on my ability to perform in this role this past year, I believe, and then you insert the amount is a fair salary range. And then you could say, hey, well, what do you think about that? Can we discuss this? I'd love to hear what you have to say, right? So I think that's a really good strategy, going back to your strategy and adding that to your toolbox. I want you guys to go in with leverage, and that means that y'all have to prepare for it and what you're going to say and what you can do. You're going to want to really show them like how valuable you are to them and how much you're going to add. I see Dr. Hayes did add in the chat box the artist field guide for Dusan. So it's there for you. Go ahead and you can go ahead and open that and save it in on your computer. So hopefully that'll help. So thank you, Dr. Hayes. So examples of leverage, going back to the PowerPoint, I want you guys to focus on justifiable and quantifiable examples of your accomplishments. I want you guys to focus on your skill set since you're higher. So if this would be for those who are currently working at a place. You'll want to look at the type of, and of course, maybe even new hires. You'll want to look at your certifications, presentations, advanced degrees, and licenses. So like for Dusan, you're working on your PhD. Well, I know you talked to one company and they were like, oh yeah, you're way overqualified, but this is very much something that could totally add value to the type of work that you're doing, because you have so much knowledge and probably developed skills that could add value to the job that you're trying to do. I want you guys to also consider other outside offers and then the things that you've done to invest in your growth. And of course, the market research with salary.com, with ONET online, and all those other great places to look at what the salary range is and all that good stuff. Okay, so some reminders for that. Don't start negotiating until after you get the job offer. When asking for a raise, leverage the yearly performance review if you are performing well. And then lastly, salary is not only the only thing you can or should negotiate. What are some other things that you guys think you guys could negotiate? I'll start. Time off. What else? I want to hear from you. Put in the chat box or unmute yourself just for a second.
Parking. You can negotiate parking.
Oh yeah, parking can be expensive. I know places I've worked at pay between $80 and $150 a month for parking. Anybody else want to add anything? Sorry, Cynthia, go ahead.
I was going to say, especially like on like in the medical center, parking is super expensive. So.
Oh yeah, keep that in mind. I love that. Yes.
I put professional development because let's just say, for example, one of the requirements for the job is for you to get certified or obtain a certification. You could potentially advocate for them to pay for that professional development opportunity. So, hey, are there professional development funds available that could be allocated to me? So professional development, absolutely.
I love that. Very good. Absolutely. All right. Well, counter responses. Once the employer proposes a starting salary, you can counter offer. And I hope you guys all consider doing that and just do it. So you will want to be passionate and gracious always. Thank you for the offer. Is there any flexibility on that number? I am so happy. I'm so excited to get this. I definitely want to explore this with you. Or thank you for the offer. Based on my prior experience and familiarity with this role, I believe an additional insert the amount would be fair. And then, hey, what do you think about that? And maybe they'll be like, oh, hey, I got to go talk to my boss about that. I'll get back to you. And then you'll be like, yes, I asked. Let me just wait and see what happens. Like you planted that idea seed and just see if anything sprouts from it. And then how would you handle your request being denied? First off, good job for asking. Give y'all's a pat on the back. You won't know if you don't ask. Like I've been saying, you may not get it at that meeting, but you have started that conversation, that idea seed that I just mentioned. Demonstrate to your boss that you are sticking around and you will continue to perform. So you always want to try to be really gracious with it and just keep on working. If it's been denied, maybe, you know, if you're really not satisfied with the job, if you've been there for a while, maybe you start looking for other opportunities too. There's nothing wrong with that. And then of course, continue to shine in the things that you're trying to accomplish in your current role. So again, these are the other online resources that we mentioned. I'm going to say them again: salary.com, paycheckcity.com, salary.aauw.org, and then there's another one listed there as well. And I want to share this tool with you guys. I absolutely love our Cougs Career Workbook. You guys can refer to it. And this is actually an awesome worksheet that can help you. I would recommend filling it out. This is going to help you practice. I want you to add this to your toolbox. It is a salary negotiation guide. It is on page 32. You can find it on our website under students and under files on page 32 of the workbook. I'm going to zoom up. I'm going to zoom up on it so we can look at it a little bit more carefully. Can you guys see it? Raise your hand. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up that you can see it. Thank you, Theodore. He's the first to respond. So what you guys are going to want to do, like I've sort of outlined in the PowerPoint in this presentation today, you guys are going to want to research using resources such as ONET and Glassdoor, salary.com, all that good stuff, to understand market rates for the position, take aspects other than salary into account, like we said, create a realistic budget to know your minimum income. We do also have a budget worksheet in our Cougs Career Workbook that you could use as another tool. You'll want to ask yourself, what is the market rate for the position you're interested in? What benefits other than salary are important to you? We kind of went through some other benefits to consider. And then that strategy, that awesome strategy, don't start negotiating until you receive the job offer. Try to avoid being the first to name a salary figure. Brainstorm ways to meet your goals and employers' needs simultaneously. Focus on facts and research to back up your proposal. And then, of course, have a target salary and a minimum salary in mind. You want to ask yourself that. And then that add value part, what skills, experience, and qualifications do you have to offer the employer? We want to tell them that in that salary negotiation conversation. Hey, I'm Bina, I'm awesome. I have like 10 years of higher ed experience, and I have led teams, and I've done a ton of programming, and I'm going to totally add value to your department, something like that, for example. And then, of course, when you are negotiating, I want you to be persuasive. I really want you to shine, clearly articulate your value. You're going to want to listen carefully to your employer's needs, and maybe you do reflective listening. Hey, I heard that you wanted to increase the revenue by 50%. Well, this is how I can help you increase that revenue. People love it when you reflectively listen. So keep that in mind. Don't forget to negotiate your benefits. Make a decision once you take the entire compensation package into account. And then practice your negotiation strategies and communicate your value. You're going to want to figure out how you're going to do that. And I think that you just need to practice out loud, write it out, and then use that. You can practice with one of your friends or your parents. Practice makes perfect, right? I do want to let you guys know that this is our last virtual workshop, but we will have more workshops coming up in the fall and spring. I want you guys hopefully to join us for those in the future. These were some of the topics that we covered, and we'll probably be doing that in the future as well. And then tomorrow we have a government and nonprofit career mixer that's happening in the Student Center. How many of you guys are going to go to that? Raise your hand. If not, I recommend that you guys attend. There's going to be a ton of employers there. Casey's going to go. Yay, Casey. So hopefully maybe you can come and meet us tomorrow and say hello. We'd love to see you. Anybody else? Yeah, thumbs up. That's right. Yeah, so if you guys wanted to go, it's going to be happening tomorrow. You guys can sign up on the Cougar Pathway, and it's going to be happening in the Student Center. I do want to share with you, if you haven't already signed up, in the chat box is a link, as well as here you can scan and follow these directions with your phone to make sure that you guys sign in for this awesome workshop. This is the conclusion of the workshop, and so I'm going to open it up for questions and answers. And then for all of you that maybe don't have any questions, you guys are free to go. I want to thank all of you for attending today's session. And I hope you guys do well in exams. And then we would love to hear from you about your salary negotiation and how we can assist with your success with that. Awesome. I see Casey might have a question, so go ahead and share.
Yes. I recently to your workbook again. I'm on the website and need to be.
Oh yeah, okay, no problem. I will go in right now and get it for you, and I'll drop the link in the chat box. Sorry, can you repeat that? You're kind of cutting out, but I'm gonna get it for you right now.
I also don't know if we have access to the chat because I don't have a chat window. I would have just put it in the chat, but I don't see a chat window on my screen.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. Not sure. Let me see if I can try to get it for us. One moment.
And I agree. I also don't see the chat, so I'm not able to download that PDF.
Okay. Let me look in general.
If we have the list of attendees, we can always send the link. We can always email it out to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes the chat, if you don't log in as a U of H student in Teams, then it won't let you access chat. I don't know. There's some weird feature that I know it doesn't always show the chat.
Yeah, we tried to figure that out the other day, and I'm not sure how to do it. I'm trying to look through it right now, and I'm not able to figure that part out. Yeah, we'll try to send this stuff to you guys. And of course, like, you guys are welcome to reach out to us too. Our names are here, and you guys can find us on Teams.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
There was another helpful resource I wanted to share, which it's called Paycheck City. Paycheck City, and it charges, but there's free calculators that you can use on there. So that's really helpful when you want to calculate how much you're actually going to receive in your paycheck. So you put what state you're from, and it calculates the state tax, and then you can also put like your dependents and things like that. So you can play around with it, so you'll know how much you're actually going to be receiving, like your gross pay. So it's a cool little calculator. I'll send that also out in the email when we send the workbook.
Yeah, I'm trying to send all of this stuff out to the specific people that asked for them. So to Casey, I sent her the book, the Cougs Career book for the worksheet, but I think everybody's probably going to need it. We're going to maybe have to consider changing the settings on our future workshops so people can see the chat, because this is like the second one that I've been to and we haven't been able to access the chat box.
So is anybody
so
able
you-
to access the chat? Is anybody, any students?
I think I know what's wrong, you guys. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. So you actually have to go. Channel.